Hi guys, today I'm going to walk you through how to create your own personalized map in less than half an hour. I'm using my map creator template on Corjl. You can see the video description for a link and more details. So let's begin by looking on the side margin here. There's multiple designs which are a great starting point. You can really get inspiration for your design there. And there's also a template cheat sheet which is a great reference. I'll be demonstrating the landscape design, which is 7 by 5 inches. If you need the design to be a different dimension, you can direct message me and I can easily modify the template measurements. But for today, I'd like to start from scratch, so I'm going to go ahead and delete everything here. I'm going to start the design by using the Add New Image button here on the side. When I click this, it will pull up all of the icons that are included in the template. There's quite a few options here, so for now I'd like to just focus on adding the roads, which will provide a really good base before we start cluttering it with landmarks. So if we click save here, you'll see that it's landed onto my template surface. I'll click off and say add new image again, and I'm just going to be building the map from these little bits and pieces. So I'll admit it's a little bit tedious, but there is some groundwork you can do beforehand. You can look up on a map reference, and I would even just hand draw a little sketch with pencil and paper in advance, so you have a sense of what you want it to look like before you begin designing. It will save you a lot of time. And so I wanted to note that you can actually duplicate an item, which is a great shortcut if you're wanting to save a bit of time. And then the little circle here allows you to turn and skew the item. I want to make sure that you're lining up the lines so that they look connected. We don't want gaps in between. I've gone ahead and completed the lines that will represent the roads. And I'd like to go ahead and save changes so we don't lose all our hard work till this point. Now I'd like to add some text boxes to our roads. And this will populate a box in the middle of the screen here, but we can type on the side. I'll just put in my road name is Village Way, and I can change the font here. And also I can change the font size. We can just drag it over in place and use the circle to change the direction of the text. We can also resize the text by skewing the box larger or smaller. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this so that I can put my second title below. And this road is actually called Creekside Way. So I'll just type that in here. Great. So now that we've got the roads titled, I'd like to add one more marker, which is the highway sign. And I'm going to actually add a graphic for this one. I'm going to put a small highway sign, which will help people identify which direction they're coming from. So here we go. I want to add text on top of this, so I'll say add text box. Again, I'll type in the information, and then I can just choose my font and resize it. And I'm going to drag this on top of the graphic. So when I say on top of the graphic, it's important to note that all these items are in layers. And so if it was in fact not on top of the graphic, it would be below it, meaning underneath it, and you won't be able to see it. And so it's important to keep your text layer above a graphic layer if you want it to be visible. Same applies to the roads. And so we have the roads here. If they were above a graphic, a line would be looking like it's going through the graphic, which we don't want. We want the roads to be on the bottom, and then we can keep the graphics and then the text on top. So just be mindful of this as you're going ahead with your design. So we'll put it back on top here. I'd like to show you a handy trick here under the layers section. We can actually lock all of the work that we've done already so that when we're adding other landmarks, it's not going to shift things around by accident. You can see now I'm not able to move or edit these items. However, if I unlock the layer, I can still revisit and edit. And so we'll save our changes. Now for the more exciting part, we'll begin to add some of the landmarks. I suggest that you begin with the more important ones. In this case, this is going to be a winter wedding on top of a mountain. And so the guest hotel is going to be an important feature of this map. And I'd like to include a few other important landmarks. For instance, the chapel where the ceremony will take place. I wanted to make sure that I'm positioning it quite far on the top corner because it's quite a ways away. In fact, the guests will be needing to take a chairlift to get there. So I really want to represent that it's far away, it's up on the tippy top of the hill. I'm actually going to add a bit of a piece of a hill here to represent the mountain. I'm just always conscious to not layer icons so that one is hidden. You can always check the layers here on the side and fix things. And so, like I said, I want to add the important landmarks before this map gets clustered with items. I want to make sure I'm getting the priority items down, or even larger items like these mountains. I don't want to run out of space. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and put in the chairlift before I forget. And I don't want to use a regular line. I think I'll use this dotted line here to give the sense it's a pathway, but it's not exactly a road. And so I'm going to duplicate this item, and I can also flip it. And once I've lined them up properly, I can select both items at once to resize and position. I can also turn them together. This is quite convenient if you're wanting to quickly change a few items together at once. Another important landmark I'd like to include is the ballroom where the reception will be held. It's in a different hotel, but I don't want to plop another hotel there, so I've chosen this sign, which can represent the sign at the front of the hotel. And I've actually got my own image I want to include in the middle of the sign. I could put text, but I actually found the logo for that hotel and saved it on my computer. And so I'm uploading it here. You can see that once I get it onto the template, I'm going to change it so that it's in black and white by going to saturation and pulling it all the way down. Because I'm doing a black and white design, I don't want color. I'm just going to size it to fit inside the sign here. As I said, you could put text or anything you want, but I just thought it might look neat to have the actual logo of the hotel. I have another image I want to add, which is my own image. So you can see it's in my downloads. So this is a graphic I got from somewhere else, and I want to add it to the template. It's just a couple ballroom dancing. I thought it would kind of go with the theme. Okay, so I spent about 10 minutes placing and adding things onto the map, and it took me a little while to get everything organized just the way I want. I added some trees and the compass and just other little details that I thought would look good. And you can tell here there's quite a few layers. So that's why I had mentioned it's important to get the roads in the bottom there and usually keep them locked so that you're not affecting your base of your map. And so now that I'm all done, I'm just gonna select everything and sort of make sure it's centered where I like it. I don't want to be too close to the edge with the design. If the roads are going off the edges, it's okay. It's just a road line, not a big deal. But I don't want the graphics too close. So we'll save the changes. And now we can finally download our template. And so PDF is a great option if you're sending it to print somewhere. I'm just going to do JPEG since I'm printing at home. And this will end up in my downloads folder. And so you can show the bleed if you like. I do like to show trim marks, especially if you're printing multiple per page. It will help you to know where you can use the paper slicer. And that's it. We'll download and I will post another video to show what it can look like once it's printed. Thanks for watching and happy designing.